Very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Chandigarh and welcome to day one of this program, which is all about mentorship. I don't think I'll be able to tell you something new. I always feel that these training programs are like, you know it all, but it's just a refresher's course. It's just remembering certain things which we tend to lose touch with because of different responsibilities and other mundane things that we are doing in and out of our college. So we'll make it interactive, right? So people who have joined us online also, I would request everybody, if few of you can switch on your cameras, it would be great. The interactions become more alive and there is more richness in that. Okay. Now, mentorship is not a new concept. I think you'll all agree with me. If we go back to history, we go back to mythology, I don't think any greatness has ever been experienced by any human or even gods until they had a mentor, isn't it? I don't know how much you understand Hindi, but I'm sure you understand when I say Guru Bina Gyan Nahi. It's not possible to touch base with who you truly are unless there is somebody who can hold the light for you and show you the path ahead. I always say that we human beings, we crave connections. Isn't it? A baby is born with one basic psychological need, which is connection. And parents, of course, are the first intimate primary connection for the child. And when a child gets out of the secure boundaries of the household, the next connections that he forms are friends, right? Friends may or may not be very healthy mentors, at least because same age, same challenges, but somebody who is slightly senior to you, who has like been there, done that, seen that, uh, by virtue of mere experience, they are at least able to tell you something more than what you know about a particular situation. So psychology says we all must have 5 types of people in our lives, right? The first type is called as a nanny. Who's a nanny?
Caretaker.
Totally, ma'am. Caretaker. Right. I come from psychology, and honestly, for me, emotions are more important than intellect. Teachers take care of the cerebral stuff. But as parents, as a professional that I am, I feel that, we have really we don't have enough tools to take care of the emotional needs because we were never exposed to that. Isn't it? What is A plus B the whole square? Everybody knows that. A square plus B square plus 2AB. Tell me one instance in your life, real life, when you've solved a problem using A square plus B square is equal to 2AB. Hardly any. Right? But if I ask you, how do you manage anger? What do you do when you're feeling very sad? How do you handle a child who's really lost and does not know what to do with his life? I think we are all going to struggle with that because there are no classes, there are no schools, no universities that talk about it. Isn't it? So mentor is somebody, of course, this is a person who handholds someone when he was struggling with cognitive problems, issues, questions. But alongside, mentor is somebody who's like a lighthouse supporting the person who is struggling through some major dilemma, conflict, decision-making process, experience in their lives, right? So number one is nannies, the caretakers. So nanny is a kind of a person in our life with whom we can very safely share our vulnerabilities without the feeling of being judged. Isn't it? So there is this one person, could be your parents, relative, friends, anybody. Being with them feels like a safe home. And you don't have to pretend anything. The second kind of people that we all need in our lives are called as cheerleaders. Isn't it? Who are cheerleaders? Cheerleaders.
One who cheers you when you are successful only.
Correct. People who cheer you or they become happy in your success. They're not envious of you. So these are called as cheerleaders. They're really successful. There are very few people who are actually genuinely happy for you when you succeed. Isn't it? The third type of people that we all desire and deserve or need in our lives is called as a mentor. So, a mentor is a person who helps you meet your future self, isn't it? Because this person has already been there. They have experienced the phase of their life that you are in, right? And because they have such enriched experience about that phase, they know what problems you are going through, what challenges you are going through. The fourth ones are called as partners in crime. What are they? See the smile, the laughter says it all. So, who are the people to whom we call partners in crime?
Someone who is going to really support us when we do mistakes.
Yes, mischiefs and mistakes. They are with us, right? The only caution is don't have too many partners in crime. You end up in jail otherwise, isn't it? And the last group of people, which we all deserve, is what we call as a my community or my tribe, right? These are the people who share your aspirations or goals or hobbies or passion, and they never let uh, you get mundane and bored and become an everyday kind of a person, isn't it? So there ought to be these five people, and mentor is somebody, of course, whom we go to when we are going through some struggle, some dilemma, and this person has the ability, the skill, the capacity to, empower us to go through that phase in a more educated manner. And if I go back to the old tradition, the prince Telemachus was left in the care of the mentor when the prince's father, Odyssey, if you have heard this, left for the Trojan War, right? And mentored Telemachus until the father returned. So every great warrior, every great king has been mentored, and there's not that you they had only one mentor. They had one mentor who taught them politics. There was one mentor who made them the warrior that they were. There was somebody who taught them, the diplomatic aspect of things, right? Similarly, in when I come back and bring it the story to India, Chanakya mentored a sober, a common, boy, and made him Chandragupta Maurya and groomed him to become the king of Patliputra and eventually the emperor of Mauryan Empire. But for Chandragupta Maurya, this would not have been possible, right? He saw that spark in that child and he knew that if this particular stone is chiseled, he can become somebody and can guide the country through in a phase. In Hindu mythology, there are stories of mentor mentee relationship. Sage Vishwamitra seemed to have mentored King Bharata, guided him into becoming the emperor of Akhanda Bharat. And in all the three examples, the mentor, Chanakya, Vishwamitra, one thing is very clear. You know what is that? That one thing is that the mentor did not have any self interest or any selfish motive. They did what they did for the sake of the mentee or for a greater good, or they had a purpose in mind as in why they are doing what they are doing, isn't it? Any other great mentor from mythology, from history that you can think of? Krishna, isn't it? Lord Krishna. They say, na, Tumi ho mata pita, tumi ho bandhu, sakha tumi. He was everything to Arjuna, isn't it? Look at the quality of mentorship that he provided to him. That the biggest dilemma, when he was in the biggest dilemma, right? The discourse, which we now call it as Bhagavad Gita, got created because of a discourse or a dialogue that happened between a totally jilted, confused mentee and a mentor who wanted to establish dharma in the world. And how through Arjun, right, and his dilemma, this whole story and this whole thing got done. So when we read about Krishna and he becoming the Arjuna's mentor, he guided, advised him every step, enabled him to go in the right direction and win the war. Why do you think he chose to become the Sarathi? And that too, he never picked up any, I mean, he did not fight. He wasn't a warrior. What was the reason, or what is the implication of that? What is the implication of being a Sarathi, the charioteer? Guidance, isn't it? So he actually drove clarity. He drove Arjuna to clarity, right? And what was the reason for he not deciding to fight and not picking up any arms and ammunition? What could be the implication of that? Yes, but he could have been one of the warriors in the war, isn't it, ma'am? But he chose to not to fight the war. What could be the reason? Totally successful, empowered. If you're a teacher, if you're a mentor, and you're always overprotecting and doing it for your mentee, they will never feel empowered enough to deal with the situations on their own. Our job is to empower them to deal with the situations and not fix the situations for them or take it on ourselves. Remember that. Your and my job as a parent, as a mentor, is not to fix things, right? There's a very beautiful one liner that I talk about when I'm talking about parenting, and I think it is right. It holds true even in mentorship. We don't prepare the roads for the children, we prepare children for the roads, isn't it? So most of us as teachers, as parents, our first instinct when a child gets into the problem is, what is the first instinct?
Falls down when he walks.
Sorry, ma'am.
He falls down when he walks.
Ha, isn't it? So what do we try to do to save him?
Just leave it. Leave it. Just leave him.
Yeah, overprotective. We try to.
Yes, you want to fix everything for children. We never abandon them, ma'am. We don't leave them. Okay, if they fall,
We didn't get we let it for them.
yes,
Struggle so much. Why should they struggle?
absolutely right. That's our first instinct. I did not get this, let my child have a major share of this. And we don't realize how much is the problem of more with our children now, isn't it? And also, it is very easy to do it for them. What do you say? It is so easy. We know it. It is so difficult to have the patience to guide them through the process. It's going to be a slow process, isn't it? It's going to take a lot of persistence. So it is so easy to do away with patience and put, get it here, I'll do it for you. I'll tell you how it's to be done. You do it once, twice, thrice. And what would happen when you are not there? They have no clue. They have no idea. And honestly, this is what is happening with Gen Z parenting and with Gen Z teaching. We don't want children to feel the pressure, isn't it? Look at the syllabus. You should see how CBSE, ICSE, they're getting rid of the syllabus, making things simple, making things easy. No boards for class 10. Exams will happen twice a year. But we must understand that some pressure is very important for growth. Without resistance, there cannot be any movement. Isn't it? Will you drive a car which does not have a brake? Yes or no? No. And we are expecting we are putting our children into the cars without brakes because we don't say no to them. And we want to do everything for them. And we do not want them to go through any pressure, right? As a result, what's happening? The generation is not resilient as we were. Because maybe our parents did not have the means to do it all for us. They were wiser. They probably had more time and patience. Isn't it? If we women are outside the house, right, and we go back home, you have limited time, less time, right? So easy, quick fix would be to just do it. Easier done, no? So the job of a mentor, trust me, is not to give answers. Our job is to ask questions. Isn't it? That's very, very important. So Krishna, as a mentor, not only advised Arjuna, but provided him the guidance at every step. Whenever Arjuna had a doubt in whether he was doing right or wrong, Krishna clarified his doubts. And it's a dialogue. Mentor-mentee program is a two-way street, right? Where our jobs basically is to ask a question, right? And the child's job or the individual's job is to think the answers to these questions. And when he's thinking or she's thinking about the answers, she finds or he finds their own solutions to the problems. And then comes the time when you tell them, see, you knew what is to be done. Like when I started this session, I told you, I'm not going to tell you anything new. You know it all. We have it in us. It's just a dialogue to renew, to remember, refresh what you already know. When Arjuna casted his weapons down and told Krishna that he will not fight, Krishna then mentors Arjuna and explains him his duties lead him toward success. Isn't it? So he never got impatient with him. I don't know how many days the discourse of Gita was on, and Krishna froze time. Nobody knows anything about that if you watched Mahabharata. Okay? There's a very beautiful analogy which I would like to pick up here to, I think, one of the best examples of mentorship. You all have used GPS? Do you all use GPS? Okay, let us suppose you're using GPS and GPS told you to take left and you missed the turn. What happens then? Exactly. GPS reroutes itself. Have you ever been scolded by GPS? You dumb fellow, I told you to take the next left and you did not understand the simple instruction and you call me a machine, you bloody human. Have you ever heard? No. What a beautiful learning. That if mentees are missing something, maybe the way we said it, there was a disconnect between how you said or what they picked up, right? Rather than scolding them or rather than giving them your peace of mind, right? All that is required is probably to reframe it in another way. I always say that, and I have no qualms about it. I'm a teacher also, I'm a parent also. There are no bad students or no bad children. There are only bad parents and bad teachers. Let us take the accountability, the onus of that. Because only when we take the onus of the accountability, we would feel more responsible and we cannot sort of save our skins by saying, yeah, children are now like this only. This generation is only like that. Yes, they are a difficult generation and they are very easygoing generation. No two ways about it. But they got it so easy. Everything, because we were born in families where our parents had some struggles, right? They sort of empowered us. Most of us, we are doing pretty well in lives, monetarily, right? So as a result, our children won't see those struggles. And it's not their fault either. If you are doing well or I'm doing well, it's not our child's fault. Isn't it? So another thing which I really want everybody to avoid while you're raising children and when you're taking classrooms is, in our times we had to do that. That's your problem. Or that's my problem. It's not their problem. No? If we did not have air conditioners or if we did not have four-wheelers, you can't blame them for you doing well in your lives. So grow up. Isn't it? We only provided all of this to them. Correct? Now, we can't tell them that you lead that kind of a life that we did because we had no choice. Come on. Right? Okay. So, the mentors protect their mentees from imminent dangers by giving them advice, nurturing the mentees' growth, right? And the job of the mentor is actually to be doing something what at that particular stage the mentee is unable to do. Now, there are 2-3 instances, which is, I think, one of the most beautiful mentor-mentee relationship is between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So, during the Swayamvar, if you remember, when the Draupadi's Swayamvar happened, right? Arjun or anybody who would marry Draupadi was to pierce the eye of a fish, which was moving on the, apparatus while looking in the water, which was in a, urn of water. So, Arjuna asked, Krishna told Arjuna, you focus on this, you do this, you do that. So, Arjuna asked Krishna, you have told me all this. What will you do? He said, I would ensure that the water in the urn remains still. So, that's something that you cannot do. I will control something which is uncontrollable for you. Similarly, there was this instance when Abhimanyu got killed in the Chakravyuh, and out of sheer resentment, rage and anger, Arjun said that he is going to kill Jayadratha, and if he is not able to kill him, he is going to take some Agni Samadhi and going to commit suicide. And Krishna said, my God, you and your emotions, what do I do? And then when whole day passed, right, and there came a time that is time for sunset and Jayadratha was nowhere to be seen. And that was the time when an eclipse of sun happened and Krishna was behind that. He was the nature's force behind that. And that's when Jayadharat said, hey, the sun has set, and he broke all the Z security that he was into. And that was the time when, Arjuna aimed at him and finished him and killed him. So that's the job of a mentor, right? Without even your mentee knowing what you're doing for them. I still remember my PhD guide. I think he is a sage, and not very many. How many of your PhDs here? Anybody who had to go through the struggle of PhD? Okay, two of you. So not very many of us have guides who are supportive. How was your experience?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, average.
he was your age.
Average. Like
Average,
cooperation,
average, okay.
Not too difficult, not too easy.
Okay, all right. How about yours, sir? He was cooperative? Okay, wonderful. But few of my fellow PhD students, they have had terrible experiences with their guide. So when my guide was just too brilliant and a very magnanimous man. I mean, I've learned so much from him, just like Pramod sir, it's like that. So when my PhD got over, it was on creativity. So I think I submitted my thesis in 2008. And in that year itself, there's a very beautiful book on creativity, which one of the leading, authorities in creativity, world authority, Ranko, had written that book. So the day I submitted my thesis, I got that book. I took that book for sir as a mark of respect and my gratitude. And he wrote his name, he signed it, and he returned it to me. And he said, the job of the teacher is always to give and not to take. And I can never forget that. I can never ever forget that. And it remains, and it will remain with me forever as a teacher. And that day and this day, I could not muster the courage, or I could not even think of taking something from anybody who calls them my student, because that's the standard my guide had set. Isn't it? So subtly, he's taught me such a wonderful lesson in life, that as a teacher, your job is only to give, right? And not to take from your students. Okay. Now, what are the three pillars of successful mentoring? One is mutual respect, trust, and effective communication, right? I don't think mentor-mentee relationship is a relationship of unequals. For me, it's a relationship of equals, right? And when we say mutual respect, please understand that what goes around comes around. We cannot demand respect because we have more experience or age is on our side. Now we got to command respect. And how is respect commanded? By giving respect. In psychology, we are taught two things, right? One is called as unconditional positive regard, and the other is called as empathy. Unconditional positive regard means I accept you the way you are. No changes required, no conditions applied. And in my office, I've written this little placard. On a little placard, I've written, um, I'm an unconditional parent. So another human being, especially people who are younger to us, they need not be doing something to get our respect. Isn't it? So what I'm trying to say is, it is enough to be a human being to seek someone else's respect, irrespective of your age, the job that you do, whatever you are doing. Isn't it? So simply mutual respect means that treating mentees as equals, because they're also, I always call them as young adults. I call children little humans, and I call students young adults, because the moment you start treating them as young adults, they start behaving like one, right? And there needs to be trust. Okay. Now tell me, what are the pillars of trust? How do we establish trust?
If student shares his or her problem, we should make sure that we don't disclose it even
Wow.
with our colleagues
Wonderful.
or any of their
Totally.
friend circle.
Totally. Confidentiality, right? And as ma'am says, when somebody is sharing some vulnerability with us, right? we become the safe space for them. Isn't it? If, let us say, I've shared something with you and you keep it with yourself and you never use it against me, even though you can, you have won my trust. Isn't it? So trust can only be won by being someone's safe space. And how do we become someone's safe space? As ma'am says, one is confidentiality. What else? Encouragement, appreciation, admiration, affection. Right? So when somebody comes to you and they know it for sure that I can say something here and I will not be judged for that, right? And I'll be heard. That's how trust is. And trust me, when somebody leaves so much of trust in you, I think that becomes a very sacred relationship.
Ma'am, I'm tempted to share one thing here.
Please, sir.
You know, sometimes what happens is that today we are good friends and we trust each other. In the good relationship, I say certain things, share certain things with you, and you also share. The real trust is when we are, God forbids, are no longer friends. We should remember that the things which we exchanged and shared were in the friendship.
Totally, sir.
If that chapter is closed, I should not open that chapter again in the, in some other occasions.
True.
When we are no longer in a good this thing.
Absolutely.
But very often than not, but whatever people are saying here, vulnerability and other things, those are very, very important. Active listener, encouraging. But this is something which we tend to forget. तो उसने जब मैंने कुछ बात करी थी तो we were good friends ना at that time.
True.
वो एक ट्रस्ट एक हमारी बहुत वैल्यू और एथिकल सिस्टम में होना चाहिए अपने इंडिविजुअली के यस कम बट में मैं इसको मिसयूज नहीं करूंगा.
Yes.
I will not exploit this point even if I am beaten by anything else.
Absolutely, sir. Right? So similarly, when I say that they're young adults, so there's two-way communication, isn't it? Please remember that all human beings, we have basic physiological needs: food, shelter, water, a roof over our heads, clothes. We all need that. So like we have basic physiological needs, we have some basic psychological needs as well. And three basic psychological needs are to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued. Isn't it? You really want to win someone's trust. You want to win someone's respect. You want to share a strong bond with someone. Please make them feel seen. Make them feel heard. And when you make somebody feel seen and heard, automatically they see value in themselves. And that can only happen when we have unconditional positive regard. I'll give you a very simple example for that. I'm a psychologist and people come to me, most of the times they are overwhelmed. They are totally beaten. They have lost confidence in themselves, isn't it? And they come to a psychologist often when everybody else around them has failed to provide them that security or maybe, some solution. Like we still are a collectivistic society and we would love to go to an elder in the family or maybe a friend before you decide to go to a mentor or a counselor or anybody, right? Now this person is totally broken and he comes to a professional and a professional treats him with unconditional positive regard. That I respect the human that you are, right? And there are no conditions applied. You don't have to be somebody or be doing something to get that respect from me. And this moment when they receive that unconditional positive regard, they start seeing some value in their own selves. That, the person thinks that I was really thinking that I'm useless and I am no good. But if a professional can treat me in this respectful manner, then there must be something still okay with me, something still right with me, right? So when your students come to you, just listen to them. Maybe you do not have the solutions to all their problems, and you need not have them. But the fact that you have heard them makes them feel so much valued. The fact that you see them, make them feel seen. How can we make our students feel seen? Anybody? So when you see your students in the corridors, I know a lot of them don't wish you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's their sanskar. We can wish them. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Great to see you. Isn't it? When you're taking roll call or attendance and you see that there was somebody who was absent for 4 or 5 days, and today you see a yes ma'am, or you hear a yes ma'am or a yes sir, just pause, look at them and say, hey, you're back. Where were you? We missed you. Oh, you made someone's day by just saying these two simple lines. Hey, I missed you. The class missed you. Right? Instead of pouncing on them, hey, where were you 4 days? Do you know how much you have missed? There must be something they're going through. Okay? All right. So there are 2 types of mentors. Okay? There can be potter mentors and there can be gardener mentors. What's the difference between a potter and a gardener? Bills.
Gardener trims.
Trims. Okay, all right. Potter builds, gardener trims. Any other responses? Grows also. Okay, gardener grows also, trims also. Yes. Some more answers, please.
Gardener cares.
Cares. Absolutely. Tenders, cares, nurtures.
Potter is limited, I think.
Okay.
Gardener means a wide scope for all the talents. Potter can give different shapes.
Potter gives a shape, but the shape is as per the convenience of the potter. It's the potter decides what shape am I going to give this particular vessel to. So power lies in the hands of the potter. And if he doesn't like it, he redoes it. Whereas, how is gardener different here from that of a potter?
Gardener, the plant and seeds, talent is inside that.
Correct.
We will just nourish and give the right atmosphere.
Through that. Atmosphere, environment. Isn't it? Now let us say you have sown a lot of seeds together. Most of the sprouts have happened, grown out. There are 1 or 2 plants that are not growing. Do you scold them? What do you do?
We will nourish that, gives the right support needed.
Yes, support needed. What else?
If it is infected, we will remove that, whatever.
Correct. If there are weeds, you remove the weeds. What else? If a plant is not growing, you nourish it, you support it. If there's too much sun, you try to put it in the shade. If it is in the shade, you will try to put it in the sun. If there's too much water, you'll say, okay, 1 or 2 days, I'll not give water. Can you see the difference? Now, let's take this simile, this analogy to schools, colleges, and homes. When a person is not growing well there, what do we do? We blame. Yes. Isn't it? My God, we are so kind-hearted when it comes to plants. And when it comes to humans, I mean, it's entirely different. Why? Expectations. We become potters there. We become potters there. I want you to do this. I want you to grow this way. I want you to achieve that. Nothing wrong about that. I mean, it's just that brainstorming. But what is actually required is, please remember, if a child can, it will. What did I say? Can you repeat after me?
The child can, it will.
And now, replace the child with an adult also. If an adult can, he or she will. They don't know how to. Trust me. They do not know how to. And why don't they know? A lot of reasons for that. Often women say, my husband does not express. See? I always tell them, if they can, they will. They don't know how to. Why don't they know? Because ever since they are grown, they've only been told, the boys especially have been told only one thing. No. Boys don't cry. Boys don't share anything. It's against the mass construct of masculinity to cry and share. So suffer in silence. That's what happens. And because you've been telling 150% of the society, shh, you don't share, you don't tell it to anybody, you don't cry, right? Then what happens? They don't know how to. So even if the wife is looking pretty, he doesn't know to say, hey, you're looking pretty today. If the food is good, the man would eat it. Would never say, hey, it's really delicious today. So there are three exchanges that can happen between people. One is gifts. Second is gratitude or communication. Right? Third, they say, is food. Isn't it? And imagine, I have clients in Chandigarh, like they're really, really rich people, okay? And the wives will come all decked up. You see the sizes of the diamonds in their rings and you're like, wow. And she'll say, he will buy me this. He will buy me this. But he will never, ever ask me for my opinion on something. Imagine how much a person wants to be heard and want to feel seen and heard. Zero money spent, ladies and gentlemen. It does not require even a penny to say, hey, you're looking pretty today. Hey, thank you for doing this for me. Hey, the food was really delicious today. Or thank you for whatever you're doing for the house, for the family, for bringing the money home or getting the food on the table. What does it take care? Nothing. Yet, we are so stingy when it comes to appreciating each other. I wonder, why doesn't it come to us? We got to be so magnanimous there. Damn it, it costs nothing. It just costs a little bit of sensitivity. Remember 3 A's always. Attention, appreciation, and affection. Every person has this currency. We want attention, affection. And I've tried it, I've tried it with my 18, 19-year-old son. We are great friends, both of us. And so I think I do it with my husband also. They would say something, they won't do it. And obviously as a human, as a mother, as a wife, I would yell. Still nothing would happen. Right? Then I do 2 things. One, I decide there's no point. Like you've said it once, twice, thrice. It's not working. And then I remind myself, if they can, they will. Right? That is one thing. Another thing, if you really want to bring about some change in someone's behavior, start paying attention to whenever they do something right. Catch them doing right. Our attention is generally focused on what's not right. You did not do this. You did not wake up. You did not make your bed. You did not study enough today. So I'll ensure that the day he has made his bed, I say, wow, Atish, the room is really looking tidy today. You made time for that. You've done a great job. Oh, Mama, you noticed? I said, of course I do. Isn't it? So, it's not our fault either. Again, if we could, we will. Huh? Because we have been receiving a lot of criticism in our growing up years. So we only give what we have, isn't it? So this is a bottle. What is in the bottle? Water. Now, let us suppose I open the cap and somebody bumps into me and something spills. What will spill? Water. If there was coffee in this, if there was juice in this, so now our bottles, this vessel, what is it filled up with? If there's love in this, if there's resentment, anger, frustration, a little jerk, and there it goes. Isn't it? So please remember, we can only give what we have. Right? So for me, I think the biggest learning in my life is that you cannot control anything and anybody but one entity. And that entity is? I've taught myself, do this. I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to respond to that question with this action. You cannot control people, situations, and circumstances. You can only control one entity. What is that? Do it this way. Myself. I want to point this finger on you. Please do that, ma'am. What? Who? Do it. Whom can you control? Everybody do this action. Myself. Do you see the resistance? Do you see the resistance in pointing? Oh, ego ka pulida. I mean, ego get tattered when you have to point fingers at yourself, because it's always like that. So, I mean, when we say walk the talk, what does that mean? That your presence itself is so noticeable, that your actions speak so much louder than your words, that by your mere presence, by your mere actions, you are able to impact, influence, and inspire. And that will take a lot of self-work. So, see, it's so beautiful, you know. It's never called childrening, it's called parenting. It's called mentoring. You are a mentor and it's mentoring. You are a parent and it's parenting. So I say you got to work on yourself as a mentor. You got to work on yourself as a parent and not on the child or the mentee. When you work on yourself and you evolve as a human, the change that will happen in them will be a side effect of what you have done to yourself. Period. Isn't it? So please, we are not here to, bring some change outside us. The revolution needs to happen within first, and that will spill over everywhere. And then that ripple effect will happen. And your mere presence, the personality that you have, the purpose that you have, the intention that you have is going to make the impact. That's what I have learned in my life. Right? So be a gardener mentor. When you see that somebody is not blooming the way you thought or they ought to, work on the environment. Maybe some nurture and small nurture. So something or too much is happening, or something needs to be changed. Do that. And I think kindness is the biggest religion. Nothing beyond that. Okay? So this is what a mentor does. They are a coach. They are a confidante. When we say confidante, I mean people come to you for advice. They ask you something. Keep it confidential. Don't make it a talk of the town. They are a teacher because sometimes you are technically qualified to teach them. They are sponsors. When I say sponsors, I mean you are the advocates. Sometimes students cannot speak for themselves, right? So you got to be the advocate. You got to be their mouthpieces. You got to let the world know that, this is what is required. Advisor. Agent means whatever you do has an influence on the others. So your agent, and of course, the role models. That's we all understand that. The first role played by the mentor is that of a teacher. That is simply, imparting knowledge, right? And this is so important to build up the character of the child, right? Okay. Now, I always say that after Bhagwan Krishna, if there's another avatar on the earth, it's Google Baba. Because Google has answers to almost all the questions, isn't it? And Google would give answers to the questions of our students when they need it, at their convenience, at a time, from the comfort of wherever they are. Yes or no? And Google does not even expect respect that you have to stand before they talk and, ma'am, sir, please. So simply type or, press Google, hey Google, and there she goes. Like a genie, he or she will answer your questions. So tell me, when all the knowledge or information is just like a click away from the child, why should they respect you and me, and why should they come to you and me? What is that little extra? Or what is that little different that we can provide to them that Google cannot? Totally. Empathy, emotional support. True that. Isn't it? Appreciation. Google can't do that. Maybe in some time to come, AI, the way it is going, there could be a time. But thankfully, they are called artificial intelligence, not called made up emotions or artificial emotions. I mean, there's a long, long way to cover. Right? So our job is not just to share the curriculum with them, right? But to be somebody to whom they can come up to, talk, share, feel safe around, right? And you got to be their safe space. And as I said, that you got to make them feel seen, heard, and valued, right? Because when a teacher makes a student feel seen, heard, and valued, you do not know what magic it creates, how they start seeing value in themselves. You know why? Because I don't know myself unless I receive feedback from you. Maybe I did a great session today, but most of you felt that no, it was not worth it, or vice versa. Maybe I did not feel that the session was up to the mark, but I received a lot of good feedback from you. So my evaluation of me actually depends upon
Feedback.
totally. Can you imagine a teacher telling a child that you're invaluable or you're really valuable? Automatically, the value of the child will increase in their eyes. What a simple thing to do. Making a human feel valued and then valuable. That's our jobs. So for that, please be accessible and available. When I say accessible, it simply means an open door policy. When you're sitting in the classroom, the student should not be scared to talk to you. Right? And be available. Okay, if you're doing something, and always tell them that, okay, let us meet after half an hour or 1 hour. But if a young adult is scared to meet you, something wrong with you, let me tell you. I do not know what your bottle is filled up with, that one human cannot, come to another fellow human. Okay, then there are sponsors. Students do not just get influenced by what you say. They get influenced by everything that you do, the way you dress up. Do you remember a well-dressed teacher from your school or college? You do? How we used to be in his or her awe. You know what she was wearing? You know how she was dressed? The sari, the whatever. Right? So once Krishna was to meet Duryodhan. So he was really standing in front of the mirror, getting decked up. Krishna is one of the most beautiful gods, I suppose. Most beautiful superhumans born on this planet Earth. So, he was wearing one particular, whatever, headgear. Then he said, no, he doesn't like it. He changed. And Arjun was watching all this happen. He said, what's wrong with Krishna? How come he is so image conscious all of a sudden? So he asked him that, Krishna, you being bothered about how you're looking? He says, remember, Arjun, when you meet somebody, you got to go down or level yourself up to that person. He says Duryodhan is all facade. All he gets impressed by is looks and the lighter things in life, the external things in life. So he says, I have to dress up to impress that person. So what I'm trying to tell you is that a mentor is somebody who can actually help someone grow in a 360-degree manner. And I also want to tell you one more thing. I work with different types of audience. 2 communities who really undermine and devaluate themselves. 1, housewives. 2, teachers. If you ask a lady who isn't working outside the house, what do? Oh, I'm just a housewife. Just a housewife? Its houses are like running corporates. Your maids coming and going, 3 meals a day to be cooked. All the needs are met by this lady and she's paid 0 money for that. Isn't it? And so do we teachers. We don't realize the power of being a teacher. We devaluate it ourselves. My earnest request to all of you, wear the badge of being a teacher like a proud thing on your shoulder. Because if you don't value yourself, nobody will. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. Dress up. Like when you have some, days like annual days or sports days, don't you dress up really well on that day? Why? Yeah. Isn't it? So every day is special. You do not know. I mean, who's watching you and how what you wear, what you say, how you enter the classroom, the energy that you bring, how it influences somebody, right? So I remember one of my teachers, I think she must be spending an hour before the mirror before she used to come to college. Maybe she had the luxury to do that. She was an IS officer's wife. The biggest car in the college, the tallest lady in the college, so elegant. And most of us would aspire to be like, her name was Sunanda. Sunanda ma'am. She was so pretty, so elegant, so good looking. And she would ensure that she is really dressed well. So I always say, dress up, show up, and play full on. Every day. No matter who we are, when we have appeared for the interview, we did wear a tie, a coat, and everything. Because it was, as Sir says, a special occasion. So why can't every day, why can't we treat every day like a special occasion? It's a big thing, yeah. We guys have we have a jobs. We have a job. We are getting paid for that job. We are earning money through that, right? And when it comes to sort of pampering ourselves or spending on ourselves or maybe investing in ourselves, we feel shy or we shirk. Who's watching? Oh, I'm just going to a small town to do the job. Ours is a small. Sorry, time constraints are there. So, ma'am, we have those ready to wear sarees and everything. See, if you like it, if you want it, you will do it. You will always do it. Play full on. Do the best that you can in whatever job that has been assigned to you. Right? Yes. So mentor is also an advisor and a counselor. And there I want to tell you that your job is to ask questions and not give answers. Because when you ask questions, you're making somebody think, right? And when you're making somebody think, you're developing their critical thinking skills. And at the end of the day, your job and my job as an advisor, as a counselor, as a mentor is to become redundant. When I say to become redundant means after some time, they should not need us. That's the biggest testimonial of being a great mentor, that they don't need you anymore. Yet they come to you because they understand that today they are self-sufficient, self-reliant, or whoever they are because you showed trust in them. Isn't it? You gave them the attention, the affection, the appreciation that they needed at that particular time. You made them feel so valuable and so valued that now they see that value in themselves. And also, always remember, kindness will always be paid forward. They may not give it back to you, pay it back to you, but what you have instilled and inculcated in them, you've created them or made them certain kind of humans, and they will always pay it forward. And that's what you need to teach them and tell them too. Don't bring back the thank yous and all that. Carry it forward. That is how we spread what we want to. Okay. And also, they are capable of giving life transforming advice. Another very beautiful mentor-mentee relationship that I wish to share with all of you was with Dr. Kalam. And one of his aides, his students, his name was Srijan Pal. After Dr. Kalam's death, Srijan Pal is still carrying on a lot of initiatives that Dr. Kalam has set up. There was a library. There are a lot of other things, a lot of initiatives that he started it. And Srijan has written a beautiful book on Dr. Kalam. The name of the book is What Can I Give? Imagine the title. What Can I Give? It's a 100 rupees book available on Amazon. Every mentor should read it. That's my earnest advice to all. Srijan Pal. Srijan. Srijan Pal. So Srijan was studying in IIM Ahmedabad when Dr. Kalam visited IIM Ahmedabad as a speaker. And, his job was to sort of shadow him in everything that was doing. And Srijan Pal was a very bright student, right? So like we have Best Student of the Year award. At IMA, they get something like a golden medal to the overall best student. And when he received the golden medal, Dr. Kalam had just retired from the presidentship, right? And he said, "Sir, I want to visit you. I want to show you that medal." So he went to show the medal to Dr. Kalam, and Dr. Kalam said to him that, "I really want to congratulate you for this medal, but also," he said, "I want to tell you something from my own experience." And he says, this is really quote unquote, "Every talent has a responsibility. Each achievement comes with an expectation. Medals come with right weight of duty. Don't be scared, but be aware. Enjoy it, as duties only make you bigger person. From now on, wherever you go, just remember that you will have to live up to this award." What a beautiful advice. And this boy, Srijan, he got a job with a very famous bank somewhere abroad where he would have made thousands of dollars. He left that job and he became an intern with Dr. Kalam for the rest of his life. In fact, on that trip to Guwahati, when Dr. Kalam passed away while delivering a speech, he was with Dr. Kalam. And he remained with Dr. Kalam like a shadow till his last date. And Dr. Kalam told him, "You have a wonderful job. You have a family. Your parents have some expectations. But this child, he really changed the course of his life. He was so influenced by the stature of this man." So I really, request all of you to please read that book. It's about 200 pages book. You can sit and finish it in one go, but you don't want to finish it in one go because you want to sit, read, savor it, and reflect on that. Okay? Finally, they are the role models, isn't it? As I said, they walk the talk. They don't say things. There's a difference between being a preacher and a practitioner. What is the difference?
Literally just say.
Isn't it? And practitioner would do it. And they don't even have to say it because they are living example of that ideology, of that philosophy, of what they believe in. Isn't it? So, and to inspire somebody, let me tell you, friends, you have to step out of your comfort zones. Comfort zones are very comfortable, but there is no growth there. Yeah? After 9 months, the child has to get out of mother's womb, the comfort of the cozy womb, to grow, to experience this beautiful world outside the mother's womb. So similarly, if you really want to influence someone and make an impact, we got to grow ourselves. There's no other way. Okay? Yeah, 3 things, and then we'll wind up today's session. Success does not teach us anything. It's only failure. So as a mentor, one of your param dharma, I would say, prime duty, is to teach your mentees how to handle failure. Very, very important. Nobody has learned anything out of success. It's only failure that teaches us. And for me, whatever I've understood about failure, it is just an unexpected result. Isn't it? Success is something we expect, something we desire. And failure is something that we do not expect or desire. So failure is nothing but an unexpected result. Okay? Whenever your mentee fails, sit them down and ask them first question, what went right? If somebody has failed, it is not like that the whole thing will be wrong. Something would be still right. Okay, so the Chandrayaan was to be launched. Failed. Did ISRO shut down the shop? No. They would have sat down.
They learn from the mistakes.
Totally. They sat down and figured it out what went right. Okay, this was right, right. Oh, when we did this, then it so happened. Okay, next time, this is the step we have to be mindful about. Isn't it? So whenever there is a failure in your life, in your student's life, in your child's life, in your spouse's life, first question that you need to ask is what went right? Theek kya hua? Because when you focus on what went right, it gives you some confidence that, okay, it's not like a tragedy that has struck. And then you ask what went wrong, and then you figure it out, how to correct that. One more thing that I want to tell everybody. People never fail. Processes do. People never fail. processes do. What does that mean? People never fail. लोग थोड़े ना fail होते. Processes fail. Processes, how they were studying. A student never fails. But how he was studying probably wasn't appropriate. The process wasn't right. That is how the desired result never happened. So please remember, my dear mentors, there's a difference between a deed and a doer. The doer never fails. It's how he did not work out well. So whenever somebody goes wrong, we point out that person. तुझसे नहीं हुआ, तुझसे नहीं हुआ, तूने नहीं किया, वो तो पहले ही बेचारा परेशान है. He's already affected, sad, dejected. And to top it all, we elders, we adults, so-called adults, how we treat them. Isn't it? Please be mindful. Don't, even if you forget to pat the back of someone who succeeded, there would be a lot of cheerleaders. But yes, please stand by somebody who's faltered. They need you the most at that particular point. Okay? Managing resources. Please teach your students this. Teach them to be resourceful. Teach them how to build networks, contacts, right? How to delegate. Very important. And last thing, yes, handling success. They say the character of the person is known from how they how you behave when you're successful, how you treat people when you're successful, isn't it? So keeping them grounded is also our jobs. Like how Dr. Kalam told him that, okay, congratulations for the medal, but remember, with responsibility comes power, and with power comes responsibility. Grounding is very important. Okay? And finally, we will wind up today's session with another very beautiful story from Ramayana. We talked so much about Krishna, isn't it? And how can we not talk about Bhagwan Ram? The whole country went crazy for Ayodhya, isn't it? Then the Kumbh. Wow. Never thought this would happen in 2025, what we have seen. So there is this little story when Sita got kidnapped. And, she was taken away by Ravana to Sri Lanka, his land. Jatayu told everybody that this has happened and there's a land beyond the sea where this king called Ravan has taken Sita in his Viman, right? So everybody kept walking, and there came a time that they were waiting at the, sea, and somebody had to go the other side to check whether what Jatayu has said is right, or how do they plan it further. So Rama was asking everybody that, okay, who can do this for me? So the monkey said, okay, we can jump till this place and this would happen. And then he said, I can go 2 kilometers. Somebody said 4 kilometers. I can jump 8 kilometers. Angad said, I have the potential to do one jump across the sea, but I will not be able to come back. Hanumanji was sitting on one side, and Jamavant was watching all this, circus happening. He went to Hanumanji. He said, there's some discussion going on, and everybody's saying something or the other. And Hanumanji looked at Jamavant, totally dazed, as if he doesn't know what's going on. It so happened that when he was a child, he was very naughty, very notorious. And he used to trouble the sages and the rishis, everybody. And one rishi, he had cursed him. Yes, that you're misusing your powers. Yes, ma'am. Correct. You're right. That you have a lot of potential, but you will lose touch with your potential unless somebody comes in your life and resurrects that and help you touch base with that potential. Isn't it? So every child you meet is potential Hanuman, and you are the Jamavants. They have it in them, right? They have immense possibilities, hidden caliber, talent. It's our job as mentors to evoke that courage within them so that they are able to touch base with who they really are, and they are actually able to translate that hidden potential into something bigger for to be used for themselves and for the general good of this world. That's the job of a mentor. They have it all. So don't think that you have to bring something. They have it all. All we need is the tools that are required for children to know the potential that they have. Okay? So that's what I wanted to share with all of you. This is the role of the mentor, and if mentor is doing everything right, mentees will automatically fall in place. You know, I mean, when the time is right, when the land is fertile, automatically that the plants will sprout. And always remember, fruits are the last thing that a tree bears. What did I say? Fruits are the last thing which a plant or a tree bears. So have patience. Every tree, every fruit bearing tree will bear the fruits, and every acorn has the potential to become an oak tree. Give them the zameen, give them the land, the situations, circumstances, the nurturance that they required, right? Be a gardener, mentor, and what a lovely garden you'll be able to cultivate. All right, that's all from my side. I hope you found it useful.